Hello, hello. Welcome to Confidence Through Cabaret, the podcast. I'm so excited for this one. I am being joined by Ruth Alade, who is helping coaches to find their power, to master the art of selling. And when I say coaches, it's coaches and consultants, because very often, we talk about just being coaches, but lots of us are a range of things. So trainers and consultants, and really just helping to get over that mindset and to be able to offer what you do. And we're going to talk in this conversation about not letting limitations hold you back. So having the confidence, showing up boldly. I am so pleased to introduce Ruth. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Sales mindset coach. So you are a coach and you work with coaches and consultants and trainers and the full range, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
How long have you been doing this?
Yeah, so I have actually been online since 2011, and in 2015, I decided to actually start working with coaches with all the knowledge I had learned from marketing and selling. So it's been about 6 years now.
Wow. So you've done the marketing and the selling stuff.
Oh, yes.
And now you are enabling others to do the marketing and the selling.
Yes.
Yeah. But what I love about your work and about our pre-discussions before we started recording this is that you help people to overcome what they perceive as their limitations, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
How did that come about?
Yeah, so it actually came about through my personal journey. So, all through my life, I've had a stutter, and I might even stutter here. So just so you know. But anyway, when I started, when I started my first online business, one of the things that really held me back was that I was thinking like people wouldn't take me serious, people wouldn't like me, because sometimes like my stutter gets really bad and I'm like waving my hand and I'm going like So that was something that I had to overcome, just that fear of what people would think about me. And what I came to realize is that whatever I have to say is more important than any stutter, and it doesn't matter whether I stutter or not, because my message is so powerful. And so I decided to start focusing on my message more than the stutter. And once I was able to do that, people started like really like reaching out and saying that like, wow, Ruth, you're doing this. This is so brave of you that you're not letting this to hold you back. So and that's why even now, when I work with my clients, for them, it might not be a stutter. It might just be something that, about them, maybe the fact that people around them do not like them, like people don't like them sharing like people shut them down, like people around them are so used to shutting them down, so they start thinking like, oh, I don't have anything valuable to say, my message isn't powerful. So I really help them to like overcome that and to really step into their own power.
Wow. That's so much more than having the mindset to offer. I mean, look, for most of us, it's hard enough to offer our offering, right? It's hard enough to get the business or do the selling or we maybe have formed relationships and we're supposed to let people organically buy, which doesn't happen unless you're putting your offer out there, right?
Yeah.
But then to have real limitations and overcome those is way beyond what most people are doing in mindset coaching and sales coaching.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I love that you are not only helping people, but you've lived it,
Mm-hmm.
you've done it. And so nobody can say, oh yeah, well, it's easy for you because you're an extrovert, or it's easy for you because whatever. It's not easy for any of us, and you have even more limitations that you have overcome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So how does that how did that show up for you? Those, you having a stutter and you wanting to help people, and you're saying like nobody's going to listen to me, and how what happened for you in that
Yeah.
time?
Yeah. Thank you for asking that, because like I remember when I was going to do that, even to do my first video and to post it on YouTube. This was like back in 2011. There wasn't anything like Facebook Live then. So just doing that, it took me like I must have done that video about 50 times. I would record it, delete, record, delete. Over and over. And when I eventually posted it, like the feedback was just amazing. And I was like, wow, right? Another way that it showed up was actually having conversations, having sales conversations with people. And my biggest fear was that if they hear me stutter, they're gonna be like, this person is nervous, she doesn't know what she's saying, she's not confident, right? And for me, that was quite a process. I really had to decide that I don't care, stutter or not, I don't care. What I'm telling you, this is me, and this is how I flow, right? And this is my message. I can help you, and it's up to you whether you want to decide to hire me or not because of my stutter or something else, right? So for me, it was really about just getting really, really clear that my value isn't based on a stutter, and that whatever I have to share is super, super valuable.
And it is.
Yeah.
And I I love that you are standing up and saying that.
Hmm.
So many of us, and we're both in the UK, so we know culturally a lot of people, not only, but a lot of people in the UK will say, oh well, we're not supposed to say that, we're not supposed to say what I'm doing is powerful, what I'm offering is valuable.
Hmm.
You don't like it, that's fine. But that is strong and fierce, Ruth. I love this.
Thank you.
Absolutely love this.
Mhm.
So you've got perfectionist tendencies if you're recording over and over.
Oh
You
yeah.
you've got your voice talking to you saying like, is it good enough, and are they going to like me and listen to me and effectively buy from you.
Yeah.
So how did you cope with, like, how did you get to a point where you're now standing up going, what I'm doing is powerful and valuable?
Yeah. Yeah. Great question. I think one of the things I had to decide also was to stop looking at other people. Because for me, like that was a big one. Like I would spend, like I remember like 5, 6 years ago, I would spend like hours. I'd get up to do my work on my laptop, and I'd spend like 2, 3 hours just checking out what that other coach is doing, going to this other coach's website and looking at her sales page, and trying to see, what is she doing? And that just made me feel like everybody else was doing so much better than me, and it kept me like it shrank me into one little corner. So I remember there was a time when I decided that I was going to get off social media for like 2 months, and I took that break, and I came back with so much clarity. And that's when I drew a line in the sand that everybody's journey is different. I accepted where I was. I accepted everything about me, and that just set me free. it set me free to just put myself out there and to just take action.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Competing with other people, comparing ourselves to other people, especially since you don't know somebody else's journey, you
Yeah.
know? And you know, I look at the Paralympics are on right now as we speak, you know, and or as we're recording this, and I, you know, and I look at, you know, they make it look so easy, you know, but they put in the work and they've had their own journey and they've had their own challenges and their own struggles and they've been through stuff. We don't know all of that,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? And then to compare ourselves to that and think I need to be like that. It's such a terrible ego position
Hmm.
you can get into. And social media is awful for that. You know, and this everybody's offering, you know, as coaches, oh, you should be having a 10K month. And if you're not, then let me sell something to you. And it's like, if you have a 10K month, great. If you don't have a 10K month, great. It doesn't mean your work isn't valuable. You,
Yes, that's a great point.
you showing up as you with your passion and your message, that's what matters. So you came back on social media and then with that clarity, and then how did you find your following?
Yeah. So I just started creating content, putting content out there, posting in groups. And actually something really, really, really funny happened because prior to that, like I was like, I was, still doing the same old things, doing everything, trying my best. But I think what was missing there was the mindset from which I was taking action was not out of a belief that it is done, that the results that I wanted was already done. So I was taking action but doubting and like, oh, it's like I wasn't really expecting people to like really buy from me.
Yeah.
So one of the big changes that I made after that was, well, I decided that I'm just gonna like triple my prices. It sounds so crazy, but back then I was selling like my 90-day program for I think it was like $1,200, and nobody was buying. Nobody was buying. And then when I came back, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do something crazy. I'm gonna triple my prices and show up in a more power with this clarity. And that's when I got my first client. And the funny thing is that she had actually spoken to another well-known coach, and she told me after she hired me that you know what, Ruth, I had spoken to this other coach, but I didn't really resonate with her, and that's but I resonated more with you, and that's why I hired you. And that really did something for me. It made me realize that comparing myself to other people is not helpful at all, because like you said, Heather, not everybody resonates with like we're not the right coach for everyone, and some people will resonate with us more than others. And yeah, so those are some of the key things that I did. And I
Yeah.
think it's all deciding that like I'm not gonna like that everybody's journey is different, and accepting where I was in my journey.
I think that's wonderful. And I think that you tripling your prices is you committing to, I'm putting this out there and I'm not apologizing. We
Yeah.
always say confidence through Cabaret, don't apologize, don't explain. And everybody goes, yeah, 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 yeah. It is hard.
Hmm.
You know, we constantly explain ourselves, or justify, which is a way of apologizing, or almost trying to suggest that you need an explanation. If you resonate with me, if I resonate with you, if we're the right fit, and you do what I want to do, then
Hmm.
I will find the money to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that. So well said.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Mhm.
just I feel, and it's not only, but especially women, we shrink ourselves. We make ourselves too small. and then we apologize.
Mm.
And we're not getting out there and doing what you said and going, no, I'm tripling my prices. I'm
Mm.
putting my offer out there, and I'm being authentically me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how you find your following.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So then you got your first client, and then that just starts the momentum, right? Then you
It
didn't wait
did.
till you got the confidence, and then got the you put it out there, and then the confidence starts to flow, I'm guessing.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, it was so weird, but I literally went from literally like zero, like almost nothing, to 3 clients that month. And that totally blew my mind, and it just goes to show that sometimes we don't need to just sit in a corner and wait for the confidence to come, right? We have to decide that we're doing this, and then the confidence, and there's this thing that my coach says about bringing in courage. Like you bring in courage, even though you may not be feeling confident, but use courage to take the actions, to show up, and the confidence starts, comes. It doesn't usually come first and then you take action, right? Sometimes you've got to like take action with courage, and then the confidence builds up.
I love that. I love that. I just, I have, we could talk for hours just on that last sentence that you just said. Because I think that people very strongly listen to their imposter voice, and they give it so much credibility, but they don't listen to the other voices in their head that says, this is my passion, this is my truth, this is my right, this is my space. They don't listen to that fierce voice. They listen
Yeah.
to the other one.
Yeah.
So imposter voice, then, just coming back to that, how are you doing with your imposter voice, and what are you doing to kind of maintain that overcoming of it?
Yeah. So here's the way I deal with it. And I think it's so important to realize that the imposter syndrome is coming from the way we are thinking. And the way we are thinking is optional. I like to see it as going to a buffet. You have the healthy meals, you have the salads, the grapes, the fruits, and then you have the deep fried chicken, the fries, the oily meats, and all that, right? So we have an option to choose. You can choose to either go to where all the deep fried chicken is, or you can choose to go to where the salads are. And I think that's the same way with our thoughts. We are not our thoughts, and we have the option of actually choosing where we want to focus our where we want to put our focus. So for me, these days, I don't entertain like thoughts that don't serve me. For example, I'm doing a crash course this week, actually starting this afternoon later on, right? And when I was planning it, like I had thoughts like, oh, is this going to work? Like just thoughts that wasn't going to serve me. And I had to face it and say, it's going to work, right? I've got everything to make it work. It's worked in the past, so there's no reason why it is not going to work now. So the point I'm trying to make is this: don't indulge in thoughts that don't serve you. You have the option of choosing where you want to focus your thoughts.
Yes, you do.
Mhm.
Always you have the option.
Yeah.
Um, and where focus goes, energy flows. I mean, that's a truism for a reason, because
Yeah.
how it works. Whatever you focus on is where you're going to head.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I love the buffet. I love that image in my head. I'm right there in the chicken, and then I'm going, I'm not happy in my body right now. It's like, no, because I filled it with fried chicken. And then that perpetuates thoughts, right? Because then that makes you go, oh, I shouldn't have had that. And then we beat ourselves up over and over. And then I don't feel well and I should be, and then that keeps on going in that direction because we started that spiral.
It's a cycle.
Exactly. Versus the salad where I feel energy and I feel light and I feel comfortable and and that starts that cycle off.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to chip in too that it sounds easier said than done, right? It sounds easy, like just focus your thoughts, change your thoughts. Don't think those thoughts anymore. And here's what separates the how does this saying go? Is it the men from the boys? Is it just saying like that, right? It takes work to actually intentionally do that, and it takes practice. It's not gonna like just suddenly happen just all at once and you're able to just start focusing on everything that's going to serve you. And that's why when I work with my clients, it's about helping them to make it a practice, to make it a habit, so that when they find themselves going downhill, they're able to divert that and find their way back up. And it is not like we're never going to go downhill, but I think like the difference is how long are we staying there. And the quicker we're able to find our way up, like that, to me, that's how I measure growth. How quickly are we able to find our way out of the downward slope?
I think that's an amazing insight, and I think when you're listening to this podcast or you're watching this vodcast on YouTube or IGTV, you just pause and think about that. Because you're making progress if you're spending less time down. Love that so much. And I'm finding myself, so I'm a true extrovert. I do not have unexpressed thoughts very often. And I'm finding, Ruth, while I'm talking to you, I'm just having these moments where I just don't even want to talk. I'm like, let's just absorb that. Let's just rewind that. And I'm literally, I have about half a page of notes of things that I want to go back to in the time signature to go back and listen to just that soundbite. Because I'm just loving what you're sharing, Ruth. So thank you. So what is it like to work with you? How do you work with your clients? What's your program or your offering?
Yeah, so I work with my clients in a one-to-one in a one-to-one program. I also have a group program that I will be launching later on this year. And what I really focus on really is helping my clients. We also do strategies, but most importantly, it's helping them to really step into the bold, powerful, courageous version of who they are. Because what I'm finding with my clients is that most times it is not like they don't know what to do. They know what to do. And even if they don't know, they can Google it. They can Google what to do, right? Anybody can. But the problem is actually, stepping out and taking action in a powerful way, in a way where when people see you, either in video or they see your content, they can really feel the essence of who you are. So that's most of the work that I help my clients with. I also help them to, and this might sound crazy, and some people don't like hearing this, but it's just the truth that I've been seeing. I'm really big about embracing failure. And it's something that I teach to my clients. If you're not willing to fail, then I can't really help you, right? So I really help them to become comfortable and to be willing to fail, because when you're willing to fail, that's where the success is. When you're willing to take action, and you're willing for that action not to work, and you're willing to take a step back and tweak it and go again and tweak and go again. That is where the success is. one of my clients right now, she actually messaged me yesterday. She just launched a group program. She's been through this whole process. When she first hired me last year, she was like she was always second guessing herself, doubting herself, not sure about every single thing that she wants to do. Even to just send a message to somebody, she'd be like, "Oh, Ruth, is this okay? Should I send this?" But guess what? Now she is as bold. Like, she is so bold. She inspires me now. And she just launched her high-end group program. And as at yesterday, she signed up 5 clients into a $4,000 program. And I'm just like, whoa, like she has just transformed. So this is what's possible, right? When we do the work to get you to become the most powerful version of you. And it is not necessarily just about strategies. It's about you being able to show up in your bold, powerful self.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful. That's amazing that you get to experience and be part of that transformation for others who are transforming others, because that person's program is helping others and you're part of that.
Yeah, it's
and
beautiful.
Sometimes as coaches we forget that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that indirect, that you may not ever see the results of their clients and what they're achieving and what they're passing out into the world. That's all part of the trickle effect of your work.
Yeah. I love that, because that's exactly what it is. When we as coaches show up and we help people, like, we're literally like impacting a whole load of people that we may not even know, because this person then starts to show up differently and they impact the people within their circles, and those people impact other people within their circles, and the ripple the ripple chain just goes on and on and on.
It does. It really does. It really does. Okay, so you work one-to-one mainly. You also have a group program.
Yeah.
And so it's obviously a lot about mindset and about recognizing your value and putting yourself out there. And you also talk about some strategy. Is that strategies about like how to show up on camera, or is that strategies about how to write copy, or what kind of strategies, if people are wondering about your work?
Yes. So my strategy is mainly organic marketing, and that involves reaching out to people, connecting with people, getting to know other people, and through all of that creates opportunities to be able to figure out, can I help this person? And if you can, it's about making an offer to them and letting them know that, hey, you have this issue. I believe I can help you. Do you want to hop on a call and let's see if what the possibilities are, right? And for that to happen, a lot of people freak out at doing that. And again, it comes back to being bold. It comes back to being okay with failure, with people, saying no, or not even getting back to you at all, right? The other thing I do when it comes to strategy is actually the selling process, like the sales conversations, helping them to really master their conversations, so they're clear at what's happening at every point in the conversation, and they're not just winging it, right? And the other piece as well, which a lot of people struggle with, is the end of the conversation, when all the objections may start to come up. I need to think about it. I need to sleep on it. I need to talk to my cat. I need to do this. I need to do that. So I help them, my clients, to first of all overcome their own objections about all these objections, because when you overcome them, then you can then overcome other people's objections. But if you still have hang-ups about them, about money, or about any objections that they're telling you, there's no way you're going to be able to overcome that.
You're right. Dead on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that brings us all the way back full circle to imposter syndrome and what you're saying to yourself and how long you're staying down.
Yeah.
Love that. So how can people get in touch with you? I've got this as your Facebook group.
Yes. So yes. Yeah, so you can look me up, go to my Facebook group. The link is right there, bit.ly master-sales-fb group. And in that group, I'm in there every day, sharing tips, sharing videos, sharing case studies of clients that I have worked with in the past, and sharing everything to support you. So if you are at a place where you're either doing everything and it is not working, or you are not getting leads, most people think that like their problem is that they don't know where to find leads. But in my camp, that's not always that's not usually the case, right? It's all because of their inner conversations, their inner fears. So so that's the group for you. Have a look, and if it resonates, join, and I'll be happy to see you.
Yes, and I'm in there as well.
Yes.
I love
Come
it.
join myself and Heather.
Yes, I'm enjoying. And you have a website?
Yes, I do.
masteryoursalesmindset.com.
Yes. So it's basically my webinar. It's like a 45-minute webinar where I talk about how to overcome self-doubt and how to master your sales conversation so you can show up more powerfully and boldly.
Beautiful. I haven't watched it yet, I must admit, but I will. I absolutely will. In fact, I'm very excited. I'm probably going to put it on in the car and on an audio and then go back and take notes. I love when, people allow the opportunity to get to know you and reach out to you and build a relationship with you. And if you're unsure, then you can always get in touch. But I think these things are free, right? These things are you putting yourself out there so we can get to know you. That's what the point of podcasts are in a lot of cases as well, is just getting to know people. And then, you can reach out and you can find out about it.
Yeah.
When the time is right, when you have your sales offering.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Ruth, I have a few questions that I like to ask, and I'm very excited to ask you these because I'm just interested in where this is going to go. So this is Confidence Through Cabaret, and what we talk about is not, we don't teach cabaret, although on confidencethroughcabaret.com there are workshops, because I have now done workshops because so many people were like, I want to know how to do this stuff. So that's great. But the main purpose is that we use that whole kind of principle of taking up the stage, owning space, sharing your message unapologetically, without an explanation, just raising your voice and putting it out there. And that applies. I mean, I've had my own business in corporate training and coaching for over 25 years. And I see no difference between me going on stage performing cabaret and me on stage in terms of like running a conference for a business. And so it's always about principles that are transferable. And when we think about, owning our stage and showing up, a lot of people go, oh, I can't, like, I can't go on. I couldn't ever go on a stage. So sometimes when we start off on a stage, we take a prop with us. Now, when you get more experience, you only take props that you would need, that would inform your narrative. But when we first go on stage, a lot of times people will have something with them that makes them feel strong or powerful. So you're about to go on a stage and perform. in whatever way you want to. It could be singing, dancing, any way, that cabaret comedy, it doesn't matter. What prop would you want to take with you if you were taking one on stage?
Ooh. I guess it would be one of, I don't know what the name is, but it's like, these squidgy balls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know what the name is, but it's like a ball and you just squeeze it.
Okay. Nice, like a stress ball kind of thing.
Squish ball. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And why that?
I think I just like the feeling of like holding on to something like that's quite fuzzy and warm, like and squishy.
Okay. I love that. I love that. I love that, because I would be willing to bet, in the short time that I've known you, Ruth, that you'll start off with squeezing and then you'll start to play with it. You'll roll it, and I just feel like you'll be like, I don't need this. This is just.
I probably will.
That's fabulous. And I think certainly that's one of the beautiful things about our stage life being online, is that you can have whatever you want in your hand underneath the camera and nobody has to, and certainly you've learned that with COVID, right, where they would be like in their pajamas on the bottom half of them. So, and what would your stage name be, Ruth?
Oh wow, okay, what would that be? I have this name that I love that I've been using for like usernames, and it's Lady Toast, TOS, and and Toast is like the first 3 letters of my middle name. So Lady Toast.
I love that. And I love that you're a lady. Like that.
Yeah.
That is just like, that's powerful. Toast. I love that. I love that very much. I love that. And so for me, when I talk about imposter syndrome, I talk about, tapping into that. And whether you talk to Lady Toast or whether you have a different way of igniting that, for me, that is what I use, is that voice. Where I talk to that voice and go, So, and sometimes I don't name it. Sometimes I just go, like, if I'm feeling really physically weak, I'm an aerial performer as well. So I'm like, if I feel really weak and I can't lift something or can't do something, then I go, no, I am a, well, I swear, I am a whatever aerial performer. I can do this. And all of a sudden I have all of this strength that's just ignited. Because I tap into that.
Wow.
And that is and so last week when I was performing as also Helen, which is my new stage persona, then I ignite that energy, and Helen is fierce. Helen doesn't take shit from anybody.
I like that.
Yeah. And that's why I ask that question, because it's like, what does Lady Toast do?
Yeah.
Where's that power that's coming out of there?
I like that.
And as cabaret performers, we typically have a stage name. And we would, even backstage, we refer to one another by stage name, even if we know each other personally and we know that our other name. Most people don't know me as Heather, but if they do, they certainly wouldn't call me Heather on that night, because I am, and it's that learning to ignite that whenever you want it or need it, which I love that you're lady. I love that. It's so powerful.
Wow. Love that so much.
So, Lady Toast, what is your favorite lesson that you have ever learned?
Oh,
Doesn't even have to be your biggest one. What's your favorite one?
Yeah, I think my favorite one that I go to every time is to be willing to feel any emotion, and that has served me so much. So yeah, would you like me to
a few years ago? Oh my goodness, I wish I met years ago, because that is so powerful to feel any emotion. We so often avoid that. and then we end up in a whole toxic positivity cycle, which is a whole other podcast. We could do a whole thing on toxic positivity, but I love that you're allowing feelings to come up.
Yeah. It served me so well. It's allowed me to take action that I would never have taken because I was willing to feel anything.
And that's why you're able to show your clients about being willing to fail.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Go and check out Ruth's masterclass on the website, masteryoursalesmindset.com. Get involved in the Facebook group. Reach out and send Ruth a message if you want to find out more about the services and you want to get involved in either group or one-to-one coaching. I'm so honored to have had this conversation with you today. I feel like we need a volume 2 or like an episode.
Yeah.
I am like hugely suppressing so much conversation. I'm like, oh, let's talk about that for a while. But I love what you're doing and what you're putting out there. I love that you are living proof that we can overcome our imposter voice and our limitations. And one of the things that we didn't overtly say, but I just want to remind you, is that Ruth took time out of social media to kind of get the headspace and then come back to it powerfully. Sometimes that self-care is so important for us. In fact, it's always important for us, but sometimes we need a full-on break.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So thank you so much for chatting with me today, Ruth.
Thank you too. This has been so much fun. Like I've really enjoyed every minute.
Oh, thank you. I have as well. And I know we're not done. I know we're not done.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I am going to sign off with our sign off in Confidence Through Cabaret, which is I was going to say I'm Ruth. This is Ruth. I'm Heather. I do know my own identity. I'm Heather, and I am reminding you that it is your body, it is your world, and it is your stage. Take up space and own it. Thank you for joining us. Bye.
Bye.